All right, all right. Hello, everyone. It's Thursday again, July 25th, I think. Welcome to SEO UnMasked, episode number 74. Thanks for joining us over the lunch hour. I'm Garrett Groff.
I'm Vin Deletto.
I'm Steve Brownlee.
We all exist.
Vin especially.
Are you sure? How do you know?
Because the show notes tell me I did. I don't see the live link on YouTube. Are you sure? Oh, there it is. Got it.
What?
So what's going on, gentlemen?
It's pretty hot here.
Yeah. Are you one of those people that complains about it being cold all winter, and then when it gets hot, you don't like the heat?
I'm just complaining about the crackulence of my air conditioning in the office, which I will be replacing for next year. And then
I'm so lazy, man. I got to like clean the filters in my ACs because I'm getting like coughing fits from what I'm assuming is dust and mold coming through. So that's my weekend project.
Do you not have central air?
No, buddy. My house is 100 years old. I can't. I couldn't.
You can retrofit that shit.
There's no vents or there's no nothing. I would have to tear down.
You can just cut a check for like 50 grand. It's nothing to you, right?
Yeah, once you get that 75 grand in,
you guys are so supportive, man. It's awesome.
It's just money, right?
Yeah, just money. Tell me about it.
Oh, God.
But yeah, same old here. We're just grinding away.
Yeah, I might go look at it and pick up today if they call me back, but it's already 11, so I doubt they're calling me.
A lot of the Word Agent staff is very much in summer mode. So
the whole world's in summer mode.
Yeah, I've been having to crack some heads over the past week and get people back on track, but well, we're ahead of our goals, so I guess that's all that matters, right?
I guess.
But we got Brighton SEO coming up.
Yeah, that'll be good.
We're in the middle of creating our booth designs. That's exciting, and I got to get my ass covered with some insurance.
I think we're just waiting for you on all these details.
Yeah. We'll be set by the weekend. But other than that, same old.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Looking forward to it.
For sure. I'm having conference withdrawals. I mean, the last one, I went to Traffic Think Tank earlier this year, but the last big one I went to was PoCon with you guys. So
you need to get yourself some conferences in. Man.
Yeah.
You got two coming up in quick succession though. You've had like this massive gap, and then flying all the way over to Brighton.
Are you guys doing Affiliate Summit East or no?
Affiliate Summit West in Vegas in January. Yeah, we've booked flights.
Cool.
We'll probably get a booth. Just depends what mood we're in as it gets a bit closer. But we're 50-50 at the minute.
Yeah, I don't know how much business you did at Affiliate World Barcelona, but I would assume that Affiliate Summit's going to be very similar to that.
Yeah, we figured like there's no competition there. Like there were lots of SEO people there, but they were like 10%, so it was really hard to meet them. Like we had to talk to 10 people to talk to one. So I figured with a booth, we're going to just get no one else is going to talk to us except for the 10%. So
I really think the trick is doing the dinner, man. I think that's where we get our wins, like having a private dinner, nice limo, and
well, I think we'll do that again at PubCon. We're going to have like more of an informal thing at Brighton. So like listeners of the show, people that know us that happen to be around, we'll probably have like a little gathering, just an informal bite to eat before we go to, because there's a gap on the Friday, like it finishes, there's drinks, then there's kind of an hour where everyone goes to eat before they head to the pier for the end of thing usually. So we'll probably do a Friday dinner for the people that are staying in town, if anyone. But
cool.
We'll do something small anyway. But yeah, I'd imagine Garrett will be standing in his suit in front of a limo again for a photo in PubCon again this year. Seems to be an annual.
I need to buy some new suits.
Yeah.
I don't know. You looked pretty sharp last year. I think you were fine.
I'm gonna get a. I lost 30 pounds since last year.
Really?
Yeah.
How? Keto diet?
No, dude, I'm not. All I do is work, so I'm not going to friggin' bars or drinking beers or any of that shit. But yeah, I gotta get a new suit. But nobody wears suits at these
I know.
conferences.
Because that's how they know to come and talk to you then, because you're in the suit.
They ask me where the bathroom is. Excuse me, sir. You know how to get to the bathroom.
That used to happen to me a lot in Vegas when I was staying at like downtown casinos and I'd have a suit on. I'd be like in the elevator and people would ask me like questions, and then they'd realize, oh, you don't actually work here, do you? I'm like, no.
When I was really, really young and worked at the bank, I'd get that in shops sometimes, just like walking through, picking things up at lunchtime. So I'd always give people the wrong instructions.
I'm such a nice guy.
Well, they're being pretty offensive. You know, I've got a logo on my suit. I clearly don't work here. Just because I'm young and in the suit doesn't mean you can just ask me directions. So I'd be like, oh yeah, you head down to that section, down the stairs, keep going down.
There you go.
You're in the car park. I'm sure you'll find your aspirin down there.
Cool.
Some guy tried reporting me to the manager. Like, your new boy gave me the wrong directions.
It's their own fault, man. But yeah, I'll probably get a new suit just to wear during, especially at Brighton, since we're exhibiting. I'll have a suit. But at PubCon, I just might wear like pants and a nice button down. Be done with it.
I seem to be unable to tolerate heat all of a sudden, so if it's warm in Vegas, I can't wear a suit.
It might be menopause. You're coming up to that age.
Yeah, I know. That fucking ripe age of 29. Jesus. Fucking downhill quick.
Garrett used to walk around in like a winter suit with his thick winter shirt on and an undershirt in Vegas and his tie done up and like just go for like a 40-minute walk. And now he's like, where's the aircon then? I need to stand under the aircon.
It was actually pretty cold at PubCon when we went. You remember it was like 57 degrees or something?
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it was pretty chill.
Yeah, but anyway. So let's jump into the news here. Not too much this week, but whatever.
First up, I just saw an interesting comment from C. Carter on Builder Society. You know, people are always talking about the volatility tools that estimate when a supposed update is rolling out on Google. And, you know, people were chatting about around the 18th of July, they thought there was an update just because the tool said it was so volatile. But Carter had an interesting insight that Google changed their HTML code for mobile SERPs. And a lot of the other tools, including SERPU, it looks like we're getting massive errors when they were scraping the results. And all the tools were reporting, you know, huge volatility, like unseen volatility, never seen before, impossible volatility. And yeah, it's basically the tools, including SERPU, it looks like we're just caught off guard. So it's just a little thing, you know, just
it's happened before with what's Moz's one called Mozcast, and like Dr. Pete tweets out the next day, oh, ignore the volatility yesterday, that was just blah blah blah. Or
yeah. You know, how many people take that into account? I never would have known this. I don't necessarily care what the volatility tools say, but you know, being able to think just past the average, you know, just taking things a step further and saying, okay, you know, what's the actual correlation here? Does it make sense for it to be so high a volatility? Is that even possible? Why could it be that high? And maybe, you know, not just trusting all these tools outright, like so many people do now. Not just the volatility tools, but
do you look at them as well, or is it just me that doesn't look at these at all? Ever
since I signed up for SERPU, I do look at volatility. I find their volatility score actually very helpful. As kind of, it's like the tiebreaker when you get stuck on some competitive analysis. The volatility really gives you some insight if you should.
Oh, I meant more that these broad like.
No. I just look at my
your specific.
My specific analytics for a given period of time. But what's funny is on the 18th of July, that's when I finally got my notification in Search Console that my site's been moved over to mobile first indexing. So I don't know if the two are correlated there, but I finally got the heads up about that.
Cool.
You know, speaking of tools, I have my first Cora report. Have you tried it yet, Ben?
No, just because I heard of how resource intensive it is and that it's a lot to take in. So I started with Surfer as a correlational tool.
You know, I don't know if I just take a much different perspective on SEO, but I really don't like the whole correlation thing that these tools like Page Optimizer Pro and Core are doing. You know, it's just on-page correlation doesn't mean so much to me when you're totally unable to take that and apply it to external factors like links or something. Just because someone has more content than you doesn't, I don't know, I just don't like it.
They might also have more links. I mean, we spoke about this in a private SEO Skype group, just talking around links seem to be massively more important now, and authority is massively more important. So these correlations are going to be less useful because the top 10 results are going to be more driven by links. So you're going to have, say, if even 3 or 4 of them out of the top 10 are there mainly because of their links or site authority, you're going to dumb down your content to their level by taking information from these correlations rather than having any idea what Google actually thinks the top 10 pages by content are, because links are such a big factor in where they're actually ranking. So I think you have to do so much critical thinking around it anyway. You may as well just not bother with the tool and have a look yourself. Pick out a few pages you think are better than your page and try and be better than those, rather than, oh, it says I need 7 H1 tags for some reason. It's like, no, just these idiots that made those pages have too many H1 tags.
Yeah, exactly.
They also have more authority than you. It's nonsense in a way.
I'm going to review Surfer later on in this show, so I'll touch on that. But the biggest win right now, especially after the past 2 core updates, is build your goddamn domain authority, and that's link building. So, you know, I was in the middle of doing, you know, an internal link audit, a technical SEO audit, schema, all this stuff. But, you know, what I did is I identified 10 focus pages, like the biggest low hanging fruit, and I optimized them to the hilt perfectly. And the best I did was like a 2-spot increase in rankings. And it was simply because my domain authority didn't match or didn't beat those of the currently ranking pages. So my biggest suggestion right now is, if you're going to focus on anything, slam those links in, and build up your domain authority, because until you can get to a DA 50 plus, you're going to have a real hard time competing in the top 3 spots for profitable keywords.
And if you think about it critically, like, take any random search that's remotely competitive, at least 50 people on there will have used some kind of tool to optimize their pages. So you've got 50 pages that are identically optimized to the best that these tools tell you to do it, and are really similar.
Yeah.
It's gonna, and that more and more people are going to use these tools over time. So the difference between people's pages is going to go from like here to where pages are really similar. So Google's going to increasingly rely on other factors to decide where to actually rank you. So the gains from optimizing your page more are going to get less and less, I think, over time, when it comes to, do I have enough H tags? Do I have enough keywords? Do I have enough?
And to support Steve's point, what I saw specifically, I used these correlational tools that I have, Surfer and Website Auditor, to analyze the pages that bumped me off the first page for certain queries. And there were sites that were massive in size, you know, huge domain authority. And when the analysis reports came back, those pages were horribly optimized for on-site stuff. So, you know, that goes to show you that it's purely the size of a big brand that's allowing these pages to rank. So yeah, correlational tools probably like an icing on the cake thing at this point. But the big bread and butter is, you know, valuable content and a lot of links.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not saying we should go back to just getting your content written for $1 outsourced somewhere abroad.
Yeah, you better not.
Yeah.
Word agents.
Proper order in, pay your money for some good content. But I think once you get to good, the gap to, it used to be there was a huge gap to excellent when no one had any idea how, you know, what everyone else was doing. You had to do everything manually. Now these tools are letting people with no idea what they're doing just kind of make their page 7, 8 out of 10 in terms of Google can't tell the difference. So,
and on that point, I do think that the 10,000 word articles, like that's old news at this point. I do think that these correlational tools shed some light on word length that's actually good information. It seems like the sweet spot is between like 1,800 words and like 3,500 words at max. What I'm saying, when you go over 3,500 words, when you get these like massive tomes of articles, and it's really something that should be like a paginated guide, is that you're throwing your relevance off. You have too much information in there to stay tightly relevant to the topic that you're writing about, and that's actually appears to be harmful at this point.
Yeah, and for some search queries, I've noticed Google can tell that words aren't necessary at all. Like if someone searches for Chase sectional sofa and your e-commerce site or your sofa manufacturer or whatever, you just have a whole bunch of pictures of sofas. Sometimes there's no words on those pages at all in the top 3. Like
Yeah.
Google seems to be able to tell in some search queries that users really aren't going to read 1,800 words about Chase sectional sofas. They just want to see some pictures and pick a sofa.
Yeah, I mean, just average out the dwell time and the bounce rate, and if it's like low, then they're not looking for in-depth content. They're looking for a quick answer. Right? Or does that
Yeah,
put your...
I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that if you have the words, you might not even be getting the traffic to find out what your bounce rate is if you stuff your Chase sectional category page with 1,800 words.
Right.
Maybe someone's tried that and can send me a tweet and let me know. Did stuffing your e-commerce category page with an 1,800 word research article help or hinder your efforts to rank it? But I see a lot where it's just pictures now. And people have taken words off, or they just have maybe 100 words about why they're good or something. But that's probably there to sell, not for Google. But maybe it helps Google, maybe it doesn't.
Cool.
Kind of interesting how few words there are on some of those pages now.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But let's keep going with the news here. We got a tweet from J.R. Oaks. I'm really starting to loathe JavaScript websites. Who did this?
I just saw it. Just I thought it was kind of interesting because some of the comments, Google's keep saying, "Oh, we can read JavaScript, we can do this, we can do that," and it really seems like if you're not making an app, but your site loads itself completely in JavaScript, you're really not doing yourself any favors from SEO, and you're costing yourself a ton of extra money and problems. And a lot of people are like, they should have just stuck it on WordPress. Yeah, why have they put all this developer work into crazy one-page app type website for e-commerce or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. And when you use them, I feel like they're suboptimal for conversion as well. Like you click on a picture and it's...
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple, like this Kyle Broussard 5 comment. Wait, you mean HTML and CSS have 90% of everything most web pages need? And developers are making things overcomplicated for no reason? Who would have guessed? It's like...
Because it's simpler for the developer than anything else.
Well, no, they just had to sell something, didn't they? The big development firm came in, the e-commerce store was fine the way it was, and they said, "Oh, you haven't got a JavaScript one-page app for your store? We've got to build you one of those for $50,000.
Yeah. It's rough.
But all they needed was a flaming logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But fortunately, these days, I'm not trying to do everything and do development by myself. I just use my buddy Jerry and let him deal with it.
Well, he hasn't turned your site into a JavaScript monstrosity yet, so I'm assuming he's doing an okay job.
Yeah. He's actually he's showing me some of his new designs, and the kid fucking took a giant leap in ability and talent. It's really, really top-notch stuff now.
No, you just didn't pay him enough the first time.
Yeah, no, I've been telling him to raise his prices for years, man, and I know what he's charging now, and I'm happy for him because he's getting what he deserves.
Yeah, he does. He does good work.
But okay, SEO roundtable, search engine roundtable.
Yeah, Barry had a little...
This is pretty important here. Google has come out and said YMYL sites, your money, your life sites, should have an expert to write the content. So now they're officially saying that they're looking for subject matter experts as authors on sites in your money, your life.
Does that mean
Okay.
the anti-vaccination sites are all going to come back because some hokey doctor always wrote them? There's always some doctor that like.
We'll see. I'm sure there'll be outliers to this rule, like something like that. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that you really need a doctor to write every single article on health topics?
The drug treatment sites have gone that way.
Yeah.
The way this is gamed though is the doctor doesn't actually write it. You just the site, if it's one of those big money niches, they just pay them to put their name on the articles.
Yeah.
So they get $500 an article for nothing, and they just stick their name all over the site.
Yeah, and
Not all of them do that, but that's how it's being gamed. When this became a thing that people figured they had to do in those big money lead gen niches, you started to see doctors, a retired doctor, someone offers you $50,000 to be the face of drug treatment in America, then why not?
Yeah,
Well,
actually,
why not? But
yeah, I saw you. But you know what? That might be enough of a barrier to entry to Google to squash, a lot of the bullshit that they don't like, so they may just allow that even if they know it's happening.
It's true. Are they going to be verifying people's degrees and things and making sure they meant to?
It's nonsense.
Or do you just?
But what I'm concerned about, and I guess I could say it, I'm not outing anybody, but with Authority Hacker's site, healthambition.com, they were a huge site, and while it was like health focused, it was more like about like home remedies, the best supplements and stuff like this, and they completely lost all of their traffic as a result of the medic update. And
yeah, supplements were hit really hard.
Yeah, but in my opinion, their content was good and it was correct, and they just didn't have an expert behind it. So, I mean, do you think a site like that should lose its livelihood because they simply didn't have a doctor writing it, even though that they really were doing the research and they really were doing the work to?
I don't think they should. I think Google has a vendetta against certain spaces, and supplements just happens to be one of them. And they just, and in some cases, it's one of those slippery slopes, because in some of the cases you agree with them. Like I don't agree that anti-vax content should be like given a fair share of the top 10 slots. I mean, some of those people are just fucking batshit insane. But once you start down that slippery slope, then people will be like, well, you don't really need all these supplements. And Google's obviously taken that view, so they decided that because it's not a proper health product, it's not regulated, they're just not going to. Those sites are going to have a higher bar than any other to get ranked.
Right.
And then you start thinking, well, that's not really fair, because people want that information and they're trying to make decisions about, which supplements they would like to take for whatever reason, and they should have access to that information.
Yeah.
Easily, not biased information from mainstream sites to just say, nah, don't bother taking it, just have some more eggs or whatever bullshit they say. I don't really take any supplements, but I know a lot of people that feel they get benefit from them, and whether it's placebo or real, they still feel better. So, and it's not, it should be like the FDA's job to decide whether something is regulated or not Google.
And how is Google even going to verify that experts were writing the content?
That's what we already said. Like, can you just put that you're a doctor on there? Or are they going to check?
I would imagine that it's schema, and then in the schema you got to link to the doctor's like social profiles or business website or something like that. Which again can be
stopping you from.
You can game that. Yeah, exactly. So
you can game it the good way, where at least it's a real person and you're paying the doctor, or you can game it you just make up a LinkedIn profile for a doctor and stuff. I mean,
yeah.
It seems like the spammers are going to find a way around it, and it's not going to achieve what Google wants, which is pretty typical of their moves. But like you say, for now, it's hit a lot of people that didn't really deserve to be hit.
Yeah. But all right, we got another one here. Looks like we're having Google search indexing issues again. You guys run into any of this?
No, I wondered if you did, because you were hit the first time.
Yeah, let me check my search console and see if I'm
You were our case study for that last time.
Yeah.
You and one other guy are the only two people I know that were affected directly, like in a major way.
John Mueller.
He's replying to a comment there saying it was mostly German sites. It might just have been a European or local thing rather than something that affected globally again. Seems like they have a lot more technical issues, Google, these days than they used to.
Yeah, especially with like their URL tester and their indexing tool. I'm getting like mobile warnings for shit that just isn't on my site. Like it's just not there. But we talked about that. Yeah, don't say that. But no, I'm looking at my sitemaps now, and everything looks pretty good. Everything is valid and indexed, so no problems for me, thankfully.
Awesome. So it looks like it is just a local issue. It's not the same thing as what you had last time.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's it for news this week. Did you
get a couple more?
Oh, you did. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Bill Swasky had a article out about a week ago about how would Google answer vague questions and queries. And the example he used was, what if someone searched Washington's age? Would they be talking about President George Washington? No, we know he's dead. So is that the age of death, or are they talking about the actor of Denzel Washington's current age? How old is the state of Washington? How old is Washington, D.C.? And he kind of discusses, what Google's patents, he's super into the patent stuff, obviously, and using knowledge graph to better interpret the searcher's intent and, the difficulties they experience. So it's an interesting read.
Did he come up with an answer, or he just kind of theorized on what they could be doing?
He's just theorizing, through the patents, what he thinks going on.
Yeah, I've thought about this
pretty
before,
reasonable.
and I think it's probably, I would assume that Google's using other data on the user level, like what searches did you also search for, the past 5 searches you used, where are you located, if you're located in the state of Washington or the state of Washington, D.C., or in Washington, D.C., it might choose to show you that answer. But that probably, that's just a guess. Hopefully it's something that they get better at. Did he say that people were having problems with the wrong information being presented to them?
When I read it, I don't remember him mentioning it. But
yeah, I like this blog, but there's very rarely like actionable information that you can take away from it. It's just kind of
yeah, to a point, I think, but it's interesting. I guess I think it's interesting to read how, from a fundamental viewpoint, how can we handle these queries and the workflow or the logic flow of attempting to handle them properly and the idea behind it.
Yeah.
Whether or not you can really, like you said, get a takeaway and try to apply that, so you might be able to game like a vague search. Maybe. I think your time is probably spent elsewhere.
Yeah, I think it can help with relevance in the creation of your content. Like, okay, so what is Google looking for to specify?
What if you started making pages like the Washington example? It's an entire page about Denzel Washington, George Washington, Washington State. You just cover everything. See
and so it's literally just a doorway page, like
I don't know how many cheese graters Vin's going to sell on his cheese grater site if he puts that page up there.
Yeah. It's going to throw the relevance off. All right, so understanding Google My Business and local search. Google updates as yet unannounced scroll path with stronger CTA.
Yeah, Mike Blumenthal. I had seen this little scrolling thing before when I was looking for restaurants. I don't do a lot of local searches, but it's interesting that now if you're on mobile, you have to scroll through to see all three options, and he's found examples outside of restaurants too, like jewelry stores. So it's something they're slowly rolling out. But
I think it goes with how people are used to using their phones, though. They expect to swipe and scroll things, don't they? I don't think that's going to.
yeah, his argument is that people aren't willing to. They might be willing to swipe, but because they've already put in the effort, we're so lazy, we're not going to click them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess for restaurants, you don't need them to click. You just need someone just sees Perkins Bakery and thinks, "Oh yeah, I fancy that," and put the phone down and go to it.
You got to hope that they have their ovens too.
Yeah.
Well, that helps, yeah.
Yeah, I've actually seen this scrolling thing already, just naturally, but I can't actually recreate it with the searches he used, like breakfast near me and jewelry NYC. So maybe it's not rolled out completely, but it looks like that's something that'll become standard.
Well, we'll get it here in the UK in like 2021 or something, probably.
Yeah. You guys are on like SEO 2.0 still, and we're going on to 6.0 over here.
Google can't even figure out to show restaurants in the right town near me, so I don't hold out much hope for typing in queries like breakfast near me. Like, it can't even get the town right if I type in the town, let alone near me. God knows where it is.
Cool. So yeah, I'm going to do a little review on Surfer SEO. Like we were talking about before, there's a bunch of correlational tools out there, and what we mean by correlational tools is it's a tool that basically takes the top 10 ranking or top 100 ranking pages for the keyword that you want to rank for, and it'll kind of reverse engineer what all those pages are doing and gives you a report about that says what what elements you should have on your page, like your title tag, how many heading tags, and whatnot. So you can have, I guess, an edge in ranking over the competition. So there's other ones like Quora. Can you guys hear me okay? Or did you mute yourselves? Yeah.
Yeah, we just muted because we didn't want to be like making noise when you were trying to talk.
No problem. So yeah, there's three or four main correlational tools out on the market, and they all kind of just popped up out of nowhere over the past year. That being Quora, Page Optimizer Pro, Surfer SEO, and Website Auditor from Link Assistant or SEO Power Suite. And all Quora, Pop, and Website Auditor, they base their analysis off of TF-IDF. Which has been very popular over the past 3 years. Surfer, on the other hand, they base their analysis straight off of, it's an apples to apples comparison of the top 10 ranking pages only. So it's a little different, but people have been saying that Surfer is the best because they get the best results. So jumping into the review, surferseo.com, it's just two basic tools. There's a keyword analyzer, which was their bread and butter, and there's also a content editor. And the content editor is in beta right now, and that's kind of like a competitor to like ClearScope or Market Muse, where you can actually just plug in your article like it's a WYSIWYG editor, and it'll give you real-time suggestions, and you can optimize it right there and then port it over to your site. But their bread and butter keyword analyzer is kind of like a retroactive analysis. Like you post your article first, and then you see how it compares for the keyword against the top ranking articles. So that's what I'm kind of used to using so far. I haven't really used the content editor to date. But for the keyword analyzer, it's been really, really cool. It gives you the top 100 results for your keyword. Gives you you can compare all kinds of metrics. There's probably 100 different elements that you can compare your site to against the top 10 or any specific site in the top 10. You can get a screenshot of your competitors right in the results. It'll give you keywords, similar keywords, common questions, popular words, popular phrases, prominent words and phrases, and then they actually just added a common backlink tool also, so you can see the common backlinks across all top 10 ranking pages. And then for each competitor page, you can actually just run an audit, as well as an audit for your site too. So the audit is kind of like ends up being just like a checklist of things that you need to do to optimize your site so it ranks better. And that includes missing common backlinks, true keyword density for every word that from every page of the top 10. So it's not just your keyword, it's the keyword density of every word in all 10 pages on Google. Word length per paragraph, word length per heading, exact keyword usage, partial keyword usage. What else we got here? Different types of elements and the number of elements, the length of elements, number of images, and then also page speed stuff too. So if your page is loading slower than the rest of the field of competition, you know that you got to do some work on that as well. So this is all stuff that I was kind of doing manually before, with between a whole bunch of tools, whether it be SERPWoo, Ahrefs, KeywordKeg, SERPstat, and I would kind of put this report together myself as an amalgamation of all the reports that those tools spit out. So it's really nice that Surfer has it all in one shot here. So I can't really speak to the effectiveness of it yet because these core updates rolled out, and it's obvious that links are the focus, and I'm going to get more links to my site. But what I see here in the audit is everything I could possibly want from an on-site analysis. So for now, I'm just going to stick with Surfer SEO and Website Auditor, basically because Website Auditor does the TF-IDF, Surfer does the apples to apples comparison. So between the two, I can get like a really clear view of what I should be doing on site to rank the best I can.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty intense tool. How long does it take to kind of get a feel for working
when you first look at the keyword analyzer, I guess for not the audit report, but just the general results that it gives you, it's kind of overwhelming because there's a lot. But I just looked up on YouTube how other people were using it, and within like 5 minutes, I got it, and I was able to get some actionable information out of there.
So pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, and actually, the guy, he's Polish, so I'm probably gonna butcher his name. Michał Suski. He is all over Facebook, and he's in all the SEO groups. So if you have any questions, you can actually speak to the guy that developed it, and he'll give you a direct answer. And he's actually been pretty helpful to me so far. So, yeah, it's $29. You can. There's no long commitment, so if you just want to try it out for a couple of pages on your site and see if you get some results, $30. Can't beat it.
No, I got a live round of the week this week.
Cool.
Before. So he's commenting on why he doesn't share any useful tips anymore about SEO. He says, there are many great folks who can highlight a new link building tactic or better way to analyze log files in Excel. I think my responsibility is to help stop Google from pulling up the ladder on web creators not lucky enough to be around for the 1999 to 2014 golden age. So he's the protector of all new webmasters, and that's why he doesn't share any useful tips for webmasters after 2015.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah.
So thanks, Rand. We salute you.
Do people still look at him as somebody to follow and somebody to hang on every word, or is people still do that?
Yeah.
I can't. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's just it's madness. Well, people still use Mars.
Only if SparkToro.net could rise from the ashes. And,
I know. I miss SparkToro.net. I mean, it was my favorite all-male feminist influencer company.
I heard it was possible that the individual that put it up got a very nasty letter from Rand's attorney.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't think they should be allowed to have satire taken down.
No, it's freedom of speech, man. But anyway, what are you guys working on this week? What's on your plate?
Oh shit! Unusual. Zach Hayes is helping me fix our healthcare site. He kind of went on a hiatus for a couple of days, so he's supposed to be done with it this week, fixing all the server side issues, and then the usual.
Sick. I'm still grinding away with my link building case study that I'm doing. So I've got 2 6,000-word link bait articles. I'm gonna post those up. Having our buddy Raul or Raul, or how do you pronounce his name? Is it Raul?
I assume it's Raul. Yeah.
Raul, right? He's making some custom images for us. We're probably gonna have Jared do like some speed optimization just on those pages, so they're super fast. Just about all the prospecting is done.
You'll go on there and you'll have just deleted all of Raul's images.
Yeah. He's like, who the hell made this? It's slowing down the game. But man, I'll tell you, this is the first time I've really done in-depth outreach prospecting. It was a fucking grind, man.
It's a good time. We were doing some training on that yesterday with one of our team, and like stuff that seems really simple to me and Garrett. We're like, yeah, you just type this in, and he's like looking at us like we're insane or something. It's like, whoa, this is simple, dude. Come on.
It's just the for me, it's like, you know, if I want to combine like data from 100 different searches into one massive prospecting list, just the process of downloading each individual link list and combining them just takes fucking forever. And then for one,
do you really need 100 different data? You can actually manage to email all of those.
Well, I wanted the goal is 200 links, so I needed about 20,000 prospects, and it was kind of discouraging because just for one post, I had initially 11,000 prospects, but then after I did the email research, that like cut it in half, and then when I manually filtered out pages that I wanted and didn't want, that even dropped it down further. So I think I have about 5,000 prospects for one post and about 3,000 for another. So looking for about
just 12,000 to go, then, boy.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get up there. So I think I'm going to be at like 10,000 total. So we're probably going to be closer to about 100 links all in when all is said and done. If I can get the conversion rate I'm shooting for.
I'm sure you will.
We'll see.
You've done the hardest bit. The data's the real. I mean, unless you send completely retarded letters, obviously, but I'm sure you won't.
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly going to run by my outreach letters by you guys to make sure I'm not retarded. But hopefully we'll get.
That's not a very politically correct term, Vincent.
Sorry.
We apologize. Well, what's the correct term? What should we say?
I don't know.
You don't want me to say
something worse, apparently.
Yeah, probably worse.
We'll just is dumb okay? Can we say dumb? Is that still? Don't send a dumb letter out there.
Yeah, but I got some good ideas. I'm ready to start getting started with the outreach. It's like all this setup and all this research and all this spreadsheet work. I just want to get to emailing people.
I made a database once and put like all this mad data. I'd come up with this really weird idea about how we were going to get links and put all this data into this database. It took like ages to import it and filter it and do all the analysis, and then it just didn't work at all.
Yeah, nice.
I think it's unconventional as well. It was more unconventional than what you're doing. Yours sounds perfectly reasonable. This was more like, I wonder if we can do this. No. But so at least you haven't wasted 10 hours on a project like that involved you coding up
I basically just do keyword research. So I find like the topic or the parent keyword for the topic, and then I find between 20 and 30 keywords that are grouped in that topic cluster. Then I see what all the competitors are for each of those, 20 to 30 keywords, pull their link reports, and combine them all into one giant prospecting list.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I think you'll get what you're looking for. If all of this sounds like a living nightmare, Garrett and I do links, send me an email, steve@reachcreator.com. I'll send me a tweet at @SDBrownlee, and if you don't like the sound of what Vin's just been through, we'll take care of it for you.
I do wholly suggest doing a little bit of your own link building just so you can learn what goes into it. And it helps you better communicate with Steve and Garrett when you place link orders with them, because you can better define what you want rather than, hey, I just want 10 links to this page and I don't really know why, I just need the links,
And you can give us the difficult pages as well. Like if you're doing your own link building, what a lot of people use us for is they'll get us to do the stuff they can't do, especially agencies. Like every agency has a client that they're not making money on the link building for, and sometimes outsourcing it to us and at least making whatever the difference in your price to the client and our price is, at least you're making some profit. So we can take your difficult orders as well and stuff like that. So definitely not looking to have everyone have to use us 100%, but we'll take the bits you're struggling with. If it all just sounds like a nightmare, we will take it all, of course. But if you're like Ben and you like to play with spreadsheets, then you can do the easy stuff yourself and give us the hard pages you couldn't get any links to, whatever. It's just give us a shout and we'll do whatever you need. And if you need words, obviously, Vinny Boy there, he's already said.
Yeah.
None of this
and for the record, so far on this site, I've only used Reach Creator 100% for links, and they've gotten us really far. It's just that I do have a big gap that I need to make up, so we're just gonna jump in and supplement. But for the most part, Reach Creator's links have been top notch for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. I think that's it for the week, right? We covered everything.
I believe
It is.
so.
Yeah. We have no don't tweet this, so I guess we are now.
Yeah, we've been slacking a little bit. Apologize, but I think we're getting back into our normal routine soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the only weeks, I guess, will be bad for you. Will be the first couple of weeks of the restaurant, and then for all of us, we've got a little bit of September and October where we're at conferences. But other than those couple of gaps, I think we're good for the rest of the year. So we'll probably get just about all the shows in, minus about 3.
Sounds good. All right, boys.
Sure. All right. See you next week.
See you next week.
Take care.
Take care.